The next modification that we can add to our transitions is going to be transition delay. This property allows you to specify when the transform will actually start. By default, the transition starts as soon as it is triggered. For example, it might start on mouse hover. However, sometimes you might want to control when the transition starts, and you can use a transition delay property to do that. Here's the file that we're going to begin working on. These 4 circles are all moving at a linear rate of speed across the stage. This is kind of similar to what we did last time. I have a div with a class of wrapper, I have 4 divs with a class of sphere, and their unique class identifiers so I can color them uniquely. The code I have on my body is just some basic body styling. On the wrapper, I'm displaying as block and adding some margin on the bottom. For the spheres, I'm setting a baseline background color, border radius, width, height, margin. I'm setting it to box sizing, a border box. My line height is 3, my text line is center, and currently I'm using a transition of margin for 2 seconds, and we're using the transition timing function of linear. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the transition delay property. So I'm going to go into the unique classes I have for S1 through 4. The first one we'll just leave with the default transition delay, but the second one we're going to add a transition delay of 0.5 seconds. If we do this and save and go look at the animation in the browser, you can see how the second circle now has a slight delay. It actually pauses before it starts moving, and then it begins to move. We'll add a longer transition delay to the third circle. I'm going to change this to 1 second. And now you can see the third circle is going to sit on the screen for a full second before it starts its animation. It is possible to use negative values for the transition delay as well. So let's change the fourth one to use a negative 1 second delay. When we use negative values, what's going to happen is the transition is going to start immediately, but it starts part way through the transition process. So if you look at sphere 4 carefully, you can see that when I release my mouse or go and hover over the animation, that it jumps to about halfway through the distance and then it completes the animation. So once again, the transition delays are a great way that you can uniquely control animations that you're creating with CSS.